organizations. Now, a lot of questions that actually emerge and that remain in our that come to mind at this point. We will ask these questions one by one and try and go and take it across to our panelists and set up the face-off. One of the first questions that come to mind is, why club the Bajrang Dal with a band outfit PFI? Is the Congress targeting Bajrang Dal to polarize voters? Does the Congress believe Bajrang Dal is a terror outfit like the PFI? Did the Congress or has the Congress scored a self-goal by targeting Bajrang Dal? Some of the other questions that remain is, are Bajrang Dal activists and lead members, and the Bajrang Dal claims they have 22 lakh active members across the country, are they involved in unlawful activities or do they come under the ambit of UAPA? Are they a menace? The Bajrang Dal itself, formed in 1984, in October 1984, claims to be a patriotic party, a party that works for the betterment of Bharat and, of course, Dharma. That's what they claim. GVL Narasimha Rao, BJP MP, should join us any moment now. Kamru Chaudhary, Congress leader, also with us. Namaste, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. Jai Hind. Now, Kamru Chaudhary ji, why is there an attempt to say, oh, BJP banned PFI, Congress will ban Bajrang Dal? So, balancing act, appeasement. That's the charge. Would you buy into that charge?
I can't understand. My name is Kamru Chaudhary. Tomorrow, if my name is Bajrang Chaudhary, will I be equated to Hanuman ji? Bajrangbali? I think this is a misplaced argument that people from the BJP or the RSS or from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad are giving how to fool the people of Karnataka particularly, because this has nothing got to do with the Lord Hanuman. In fact, it is in fact
the Bajrang Dal, sir. Please, I just you can push and say whatever the BJP is saying. If you are alluding to what the Prime Minister has said, those who chant the name of Bajrangbali or those who worship Bajrangbali. So the Bajrang Dal is by default also Bhaks of Hanuman. They are Bhaks of Hanuman. Now, is everybody comes under the same ambit? Every Bhakt of Hanuman, can they be painted with the same broad brush? That's a fair question to ask. Of course not. I am a Hanuman Bhakt, you may be a Hanuman Bhakt, we don't have nothing to do with the Bajrang Dal, so should we be broad brushed? Absolutely not. So that's where it is, but there is no saying that you have insulted Hanuman. That I have not heard anybody say that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Anand. Basically, the point is that, Anand, do you believe in Lord Hanuman? A straightforward, simple question. Honestly, I want an answer from me. And I believe your answer will always be an yes. Because you, as a practicing Hindu, you must always believe in Hanuman. When you go out, you always chant Hanuman Chalisa. That's the ethos of the Hindu religion out here in India. Yeah. Everybody believes in it. But then this Bajrang Dal, what have they become? What have they brought India to? Create divisions within the society on the name of Hindu Khatre mein hai. Try to polarize the voters before any election. You see, in Bengal a few days ago there were riots in Howrah and Rishra, and we from Bengal, we know what happened there. The Bajrang Dal members were actively involved in instigating the riots out here. You see Manu sir, who is accused of killing Junaid and Nasir in Rajasthan. He proclaims to be a member of the Bajrang Dal. But there are thousands of instances where I can give, but I don't want to go into all those instances and listing out this. In the basic point that out here is, Congress has prioritized banning any organization who is divisive in nature, which brings about hate as their principal
Congress could have said
to create divisions in the society.
Be it
Bajrang Dal, be it anybody
but
from
the question, sir, there is,
of the either
when
the
you
Hindu
write the manifesto
or from the Muslim side.
Any organization, it could be any side of society. Why should it be Hindu or Muslim? It could be any section of society, or irrespective of religion, caste, creed, community. If they are breaking the fabric of India, they should be banned. That should be the simple statement. Why mention outfits specifically like Bajrang Dal and PFI? That's where the issue is. If you say outfits that create social disharmony will be banned, I understood. PFI already stands banned under UAPA for 5 years. So why mention PFI there? You can't ban an already banned organization. Correct? These are some counter arguments.
Example citing the PFI and the Bajrang Dal.
That is
But
where
then we
that
did
is
not
where the whole
discount
question
the
is
ban
that did you
on, Shri
so
Ram
why
Sena
this
also.
so अगर PFI बोला तो बजरंग दल भी बोलना पड़ेगा, बजरंग दल बोले तो PFI भी बोलना पड़ेगा, balance वाला game why is this being played is the question. But let me take that to GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL Narasimha Rao ji, on the one hand you are saying that you are confident of a simple majority in Karnataka. On the other hand, one byline of the Congress's manifesto has become a cause for ire for the BJP. What has the BJP got to do with Bajrang Dal?
It's not a question of BJP speaking up for one organization. It is a question of the Congress's mindset. I think this reeks of anti-Hindu mindset of the Congress party. Almost a terrorist organization like the PFI, which is a banned outfit by the government of India, by the Ministry of Home Affairs. They're trying to equate that with a Hindu organization which has been involved only in activities promoting devotion for Lord Hanuman. And this is the sheer equivalence that they want to draw. Hindu terror, bogi, saffron terror. Why were those issues coined by the Congress party? All that was done only to appease the minority vote bank, Muslim vote bank to be precise. To tell them that, okay, we are here to abuse Hindus so that you can feel happy about you, so that you can feel
Anand, I have a counter question out here.
I think it's the same mindset of the Congress party. The Congress party has been in alliance with the PFI in Karnataka. With SDPI, which is the political arm of the PFI, the Congress party was having almost a political alliance, seat adjustments.
Kamru Chaudhary has a
PFI is already banned nationally. They are trying to appease them. This is a vote bank politics. This is nothing. This is not so innocuous as the Congress supporters want you to believe.
So you're saying this is brazen appeasement and vote bank politics?
Signal to the vote bank. Signaling minority vote bank.
Why, vote bank is
to target Hindu organizations so that you can feel happy. I don't think Muslims will respond to such a nasty idea. But then the Congress party never gives up its anti-Hindu mindset.
Okay, Kamru Chaudhary, please respond.
I have a small query. I don't want to drag this debate because it's pretty obvious that 60% of the people do not believe in JVL's viewpoint out here. But that's a different issue altogether. My first question is, JVL Saab, you have banned PFI, but why have you not proceeded to ban the political arm of SDPI, of PFI, the SDPI? If you think PFI is a terror organization, the same principles that followed by SDPI, why are you not trying to ban it? Why has the Ministry of Home Affairs not suggested to the Election Commission of India to ban SDPI? There itself is the hypocrisy, because you know all this communal politics or polarization, only one political party benefits out of it, and that is the Bharatiya Janata Party. And Congress party, mind you, Anand, we are not apologetic with the manifesto that we have put out. Any organization which seeks to divide the community on sectarian lines, on religious lines, need to be banned, and they should not find a place in a secular democratic India. That's my viewpoint.
GVL Narasimha Rao.
No, I think the lofty claims about Congress party's secular politics is all a charade, is all a cover-up for its patent anti-Hindu politics. And they always, you see, this is a miscalculation in my opinion. They always thought they can consolidate the entire Muslim vote bank by simply targeting the Hindu community and Hindu organizations. And they have failed every time. And they are possibly in competition with other parties. Again, pseudo-secular parties like JDS, they have a Muslim state president, and they also are trying to eye the Muslim vote bank. And therefore, the Congress is feeling
I think so. JVL Saab has not
political
listened
heat
properly to my question. Why have they not proceeded to ban the SDPI, sir? Anand, can you put that question across to JVL Saab?
I think you have asked this question about PFI in the past. And why didn't you?
I'm asking about the SDPI.
Congress party equate PFI with the Bajrang Dal? Please answer that question first of all. PFI has indulged in several acts of terror. They chopped off hand of the arm of a professor in Kerala. They were involved in several incidents of communal violence. Even in Uttar Pradesh, they were involved in this so-called violence that happened after the government passed this citizenship, amended the Citizenship Act.
No,
So
I
the
understand. I
PFI
understand.
has a clear
I
terror
understand,
face.
Javier sir, but my simple question to
SDPI
you:
is not
if you
an
think the
effective
PFI is a
organization.
terror organization, why not ban the political arm of the
No,
PFI,
but that's a
the
business. No,
SDPI?
I'm asking
It's a
you.
very
I'm
simple
asking you a
question.
counter question.
No,
I'm
you ask
asking
me
you a counter
a counter question
What is
cannot
the
be answered
basis
to
for
a
you to say?
question.
What is
I
the
need,
basis for
I,
you to
along with the
say
nation,
that
is
Bajrang
asking
Dal
that
is an
answer.
organization that should
When
be
you
banned?
stand up for
The
the
Congress
Bajrang
party
Dal,
might
which
have
we
to
feel
apologize
is
for
a
this.
terror,
If
is a
Bajrang
venom
Dal,
spewing organization. It's a
if
hate
Bajrang Dal
mongering,
were to
right
take the
mongering
matter to a court
organization.
of law, if Bajrang Dal were
No,
to
this is
take the
not the
matter
question
to a
of the
court
court
of
of.
law, they
No, no,
will
no, no.
suffer. The
Then let us
Congress
close
party
down
will
all
suffer
the
the same
organization, all the
consequences as
institution.
Rahul Gandhi.
Let us close down
Mallikarjun
all the
Kharge,
institution. There is
as the
no
president of the
necessity
Congress party,
of the
will be hauled
institution.
up
The
for defamation.
watchdogs that we are having, there is
So,
no need.
let me ask you.
You
Let me
can
ask.
the,
I have to wind up this debate because we've got another special coming up here on the right stand. My simple point is: has the Congress said that it will call for a ban for the SDPI? The Congress has not said that either. On the other hand, for the BJP, sir, the Bajrang Dal can defend itself. Why is the BJP stepping up to defend the Bajrang Dal?
No, not only,
So
not only the BJP is defending,
with
the worrying
22
part
lakh
is the
with
entire
22 lakh members
ecosystem is
across the
up in
country,
arms.
if the Bajrang Dal is a threat to society and threat to the country, it should have been long before banned. Where are the cases of UAPA against it? Where are the acts of terror? Is it saying that it wants to change the DNA of this country at all altogether? Or is it saying that it wants to fight for the integrity of this country against forces that want to divide it? So these questions remain. The Congress party has to answer the question, whose ban is it calling for and why? If it is not playing the appeasement game, then it has to walk the talk on ground. The BJP, on the other hand, has to allow the Bajrang Dal to defend itself.
Now,
Why should the BJP equate every Bajrangbali Bhakt with a Bajrang Dal member? These are questions which remain.
Anand,
Sir,
you see, certainly it is for Bajrang Dal to defend itself. But
Sir,
in public life, when a political party in a manifesto is targeting a Hindu organization, it is not just our responsibility, it's not just our right, it's also our responsibility to defend.
Sir, okay, I will urge you to
political-
watch the next broadcast because Hindus are being brazenly, Hindu daughters and Christian daughters are being brazenly radicalized in God's own country, and that's the story that's being highlighted in Kerala story. What has the BJP and the centre done to counter that? Remains a question too. Please do watch. Namaste. Well, namaste and Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. This is a conversation I've been looking forward to because this is a story that's been there in the ether since about 2008 and also done the rounds in the courts of Kerala, became a national headline and an issue, and a lot of people believe this is nothing but largely propaganda. Where is the proof is what many would ask. And then for somebody to go ahead and say, let's make a story out of it, somebody decide I want to direct it, and then to decide that I want to act in it. So the Kerala story, Vipul Shah ji, Ada, and also Sudipto ji. Namaste. So all three of you, the maker, the director, and of course the actor. Why do this story?
Because when Sudipto Dada narrated me this story, I was kind of in tears. And I thought that something so sad is happening to these girls. Our daughters are getting completely radicalized through a manipulated conversion and their lives are getting destroyed. And while living in this industry and living in Bombay, we have no idea. So how will the nation know about it? So this topic needs to be told to the whole nation, world. And some action has to be taken against this. That was the only thought with which we started. And we also decided that we're going to be absolutely focused on only the human tragedy part of it. We don't want to do any politics in this. We don't want anything else but the human tragedy at the center and heart of it. And we are going to make a very, very honest, very, very bold film. We are not going to shy away. We are not going to sugarcoat. And that's what we have made.
But the politics has already happened, Sudipto ji. People are asking, where did you come up with this 32,000 number? Now groups have announced 1 crore reward for anybody who can prove the 32,000 number.
I did not get time to tell people that number is actually not 32,000. It is more than 50,000.
Wow.
Now,
So you are upping the numbers. But what's the basis for it?
That is what I'm coming. The point is, the number is hardly matters here. After a point of time, you forget counting, 10, 15, 20, 100, 120, 200, then you forget counting. In the case of Kerala, it exactly that is had happened. That now number does not matter. You are from Kerala, so you must be knowing. Kerala has an image that it's a beautiful backwater, lush green villages, and it's a photographer's paradise.
Yes.
But that whole story is confined into Kochi to Trivandrum. Nobody knows what is happening in the northern part of Kerala, that Kasargod, where people even in Kerala do not know that there is a place called Attikad, where more than 15 villages has Sharia law. The barber shop is closed. Women are not allowed to move out of the house alone without burqa. Schools are closed. Only madrasa go on. So these are the things which were at this is the high time when we are talking about a new India, emergence of a different India. These prehistoric things cannot coexist together. So this is the right time to take out the truth that what is going on in under the cover of the highest literate state.
So you have research, numbers, facts to back your claim that it's not 30,000, it's upward of 50,000.
Yes, and to reach that 32,000, we kept on adding up numbers from different sources. And I will tell you a very funny part of it. First, the number came from, that then Chief Minister Oman Chandi placed a report in the floor of the Kerala Legislative Assembly. That number was 7,900 something. Then there are no discussion, no noise. Suddenly, official conversion center, they come out with the number that 900 girls been converted in the year of 2014 or 15. And then another report came that these are the Satyasarani and all these other unofficial center, they came up with a number of 11,000. So we kept on adding up. And by adding up, and there was a data that 2,800 to 3,200 girls being converted from Hindu and Muslim society. That was also part of the Chief Minister's deliberation that day. So putting all the numbers, calculating as per year conversion numbers, we reached to the fact that on an average 2,800 to 3,200 girls are being converted. That number, we have all the documents that which are the part of this adding up job and the average making job. But we decided not to disclose this at this point of time unless you see the film. One last point. A few journalists from Kerala saw the film in Bangalore. We organized a test show. They were almost like hounding me that where did you get this number? I said, give me 3 hours time. In between you see the film. After watching the film, when you come out, if you still have the question, I will answer. And trust me, when they came out and I asked them that, do you want the answer? No, Sudipto, we got the answer. We don't need the answer of where did I get the number, 32,000 number. My point is very simple. We also put up RTI, that what is the exact number. RTI has given a website to take out the truth. It was a wrong website address. So you can imagine that there are some organizations which has the vested interest to conceal the truth. So all this, as you said, all this hullabulla and all this shout out is happening to stop the film. The day film will be released, 5th May, this truth is going to hurt some section of people who has perpetrated to these girls. And the girl, whether it is 32,000, whether it is 31,492, whatever may be the number, then the human tragedy will come out. Then people will forget the number. We have been taught that even one girl is been maltreated, raped, molested, then the society should hang the head in shame. So are you crazy? Are you talking about the number? Let us first talk about the girls The girl whose, the parents whose daughter has committed suicide, she is telling me that please please put the photograph of the guy who killed my daughter and on our camera. Do you think I want to discuss number? I will not.
So you're saying focus on the human tragedy, be it 32,000, 3,200, 32 or 3. This should not happen.
Absolutely.
But your point of view is that it's rampantly happening. Let me ask you, what made you do the film? And did you go down, do the in-depth research? Are you convinced about what
Yeah,
you've done?
absolutely. There's not even an iota of doubt that it's not happening. Also because Sudipta sir has done 7 years of research. There's a lot of information available on the public domain also. I think that's why we're getting support from every part of the nation and even internationally, because this is happening internationally as well. It's not just in India. So no, I didn't have any doubts on the material, or whether I should or shouldn't do it also wasn't a doubt.
But there is also the backlash. So if there is support, there is also backlash. There are also those who are saying that you're backing a particular agenda.
Right.
You are, aren't you risking your career? Aren't you risking whether or not you're going to get more projects?
But I always wonder, the people who are saying that, would they say that if even one of their person was among the 32,000, or even if the 32,000 was 5, and they had one of their person in the 5 who was raped, drugged, impregnated, or forcefully sent off, brainwashed, their mother, their sister, their daughter, I wonder if they'd say that it was an agenda even then. So I wouldn't. So for me, I'm clear.
So before watching the movie, when there are people who are passing judgment based on the posters, based on the theme, based on what's happening, what's going through your mind?
I'm actually happy we live in a free country where we have freedom of thought and speech. In the film, they take me to a place where there's no freedom and thought for speech for women. You're not even allowed to have a cell phone on you. You can't, as a woman, you're not allowed to do that. There are a lot of rights that we have. And I think the freedom of thought is the biggest gift ever. So I'm very happy people have the freedom of thought and speech, and they're putting their opinion across. I just hope they watch the whole movie and then maybe put their opinion across. But if they want to now, we can't stop them. They can continue.
Was it difficult for you to play the character? Despite knowing what the background is, getting into the research, was it difficult?
I'm from Kerala, so also I'm a girl who's brought up by my mom and my grandmother mostly, so that seemed a lot at home. I felt I'm an only child. My character, Shalini, she's an only child. Of course, I'm not brought up in Kerala, and I'm not brought up so protected, but I did actually identify a lot, and I think as a woman to feel the sensitivity of another woman, that was, there were some sequences in the film which are barbaric almost and extremely physically violent also. So those, when I read, actually they were tough, but I think you have good makers and everyone's nice on set, and you know, we're working as a team. For an actor, that just makes life a lot easier, the actor part of it.
Did you want to ever question why would, if this is happening and if it is happening on ground, why would an entire state, why would politicians, why would society at large want to be in denial about it?
See, it's very difficult to understand why certain political silence is around certain issue. And this is not the only issue. There are many political issues where there is a tremendous amount of political silence. And sometimes you need to shake it. So rather than questioning why the political silence is there, I would much rather go and focus on the pain of those girls, their tragedy, and say, okay, let's put this tragedy out and let's see if people of this country start demanding justice for them. Sometimes that's the best way to do it, because if I can't wake up somebody who's trying to act as, you know, person sleeping, I'll have to do something else. And what I can do as a person is to go ahead and make a film. And I will try and make an honest film, as honest as I can, and put it out and wait for people to react. Once people react, then everything changes.
There is effort to legally block the movie from release. There has been a certain amount of delay also in terms of release for this movie. This project has been there in works for a while. How do you see all of that as a producer, as a maker?
Honestly, we were anticipating this because we are telling a very uncomfortable truth. And when you say uncomfortable truths, things are not going to be easy. There are many, many people who will want to stop you. But I also believe that when you are speaking the truth, eventually you will prevail. And people will, you know, and when if we were, you know, if we were complete liars, then the kind of support that we are getting on social media, 2 bad comments and 8 good comments wouldn't be the ratio. People are smart enough to look through a propaganda which is, you know, fake. They can see through it and they will not support you if they feel that your content, your material is not good. But they, I mean, we were expecting these legal troubles because, as I said, truth is not very easy, and to deal with it is also not very easy for many people. So yeah, but that's okay, part of game.
If I may very respectfully, Sudipto ji, say that in your career, in your filmmaking journey, you have flirted with very sensitive subjects. Asma, I was making a mention, that's also very sensitively poignant story, but also brings out a facet which many would wonder, can you really bring it out? Ada was just saying that you spent 7 years researching this story. So did you spend time in Kerala?
Yeah.
Did you meet some of the people who have gone through?
I met more than 500 girls. I don't forget, as I said, the number hardly matters to me. I think more than 500 girls I met, and I spent a lot of time with, as you were discussing, Arsha Vidya Samajam. I spent a lot of time with the people who are, particularly our research team who dealt with these girls. Now, we opened up a channel to talk to this girl who are in Afghanistan jail, thanks to the then Foreign Minister Sushma ji. So, we very organically, we were involved into figuring out. Earlier, it was like a very sinister plan of girls trafficking, which was happening since ages from Europe, America, Australia, and all this. But when we started putting together things in Kerala, then we realized it has a lot to do with Kerala politics. Because I don't want to, because I am not a political person who has right to make any political comment. But one thing was very clear, that there are a lot of political interest involved in the game of conversion. So I have a problem to talk about that it is nothing to do with religion. It is to do with terrorism. And terrorism is very manipulatively being used. Now, there is a notion in the entire country that terrorism does not have any religion. So, but in Kerala, the analogy is completely different. If any discussion about terrorism happen in Kerala, people particularly attach with, you are Islamophobic. Now, rest of the India, the standard is that terrorism has no religion. In Kerala, terrorism has a religion. And we are not supposed to talk about it. Kerala is a very peaceful country, peaceful state. Yes, Kerala is a beautiful state, you know. Yeah. It has culturally super rich. It has wonderful temples, churches, mosques, beautiful nature. But all these are being now, when I am going to Kerala for last so many years, I realize these are all the facade. And using these beautiful feelings about Kerala, some has hatched a sinister plan. We just tried to expose that. We have nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with politics. More precisely, we picked up 3 stories of 3 girls. They are friends. One right now is in Afghanistan jail. One committed suicide. One is, nobody knows where she is. So, you can imagine telling a story of 3 girls. Can it hurt somebody's sentiment? I don't think.
But what is common in those 3 girls as the story?
That one common thing between 3 girls, one is, as you will see in the film, that one is from Trivandrum, one is from Kottayam, one is from Kochi. One common point is, they are the simple Kerala girl, trusted a boy, fallen in love. That is the one common mistake they did, and then they reach where they are in my film.
Correct. But let me ask you, as an individual, would you also want to say that our 32,000 girls, if I were to take that number, or say 500 girls, so easy to brainwash that they will go so far to not just give up their religious identity, but they would actually become so radicalized? You know, somewhere you would say it's Stockholm syndrome. Other ways you would say that they've been brainwashed to a level they don't even know what they're doing. How is that possible?
So someone else also asked me this, and they said, if you're so highly educated, if a girl is educated, how can she fall for this? But then anyone can fall in love. That's possible. And these guys are really charming, and they are paid to make somebody fall in love with them. That's their job. So they know how to do it. Leaving that aside, even the girls in our film, everyone has a different character. Like, I might be a little more gullible. I have a friend who isn't gullible at all. So they would drug her and then rape her and then do things to her. For me, say it would be a little easier. So they know how to play their cards. Somebody else, they'd get your self-confidence down and then creep into your mind. And, you know, once you get someone's self-confidence down, then to creep into your mind, shake your faith, make you doubt yourself, doubt your faith. And then, so they see ways and means of how to manipulate you. It's different for each case. And yeah, I think it is totally possible after meeting people, after reading material that some of the victims have written, after going through it myself. On the face of it, it just sounds like, oh, how can you brainwash somebody and get them radicalized? But it's systematically done. It's shown in our film, step by step. Difficult to just put in a few sentences. But once you watch the film...
But didn't it make you think, how is it this is being allowed and this is being ignored if it is happening in our society?
Yeah.
Did it make you wonder, saying, I'm portraying characters who've faced this in real life.
Absolutely.
But is this the India of the 21st century? Is this the India that we're looking at?
No, there are different Indias. Like Dada said, there are different parts of what you would see through your mind, what you would see of a place. This is one part, and this is happening here. And maybe if we allow it to happen and dust it under the carpet and pretend like it's not happening, it will start spreading like a disease. Or we can catch it soon and then not let it spread and catch the bad guys, because the film is good versus evil. It's not about any, it's like terrorism versus humanity, good versus bad. So if we stop the bad from spreading, we can just have more good, and the more people who are on the side of good will be able to take down the bad.
Are you somewhere broad brushing an entire community, saying they're all like that?
Absolutely not, and neither does our film say that. Our film is talking about these specific people, like
That's a very easy, it's a very thin line, isn't it?
See, the thing is, as I said, that it's a sinister plan hatched somewhere else in the world. They found out a good breeding ground in Kerala because of many reasons, because of socio-political reason. There are reasons for the cultural and population demography in Kerala, which you know, which I don't want to discuss here. There are definite reasons that why Kerala is radicalized. So and it is not only about our film. This discussion is common in many a time that had happened. Whenever there is a bomb blast in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Colombo, the Kerala boys are being found out. There are many instances that in international list of the terrorists, short of the terrorist groups. Many organization has a base in Kerala. Many terrorist organizations. So Kerala has become vulnerable due to many reasons that I don't want to discuss. But that has nothing to do with the politics. That has nothing to do with the religion. It is a sinister plan hatched outside India. Sometime it has got some fuel from the political rivalry or something to do with the politics. But I don't believe that any religion, any politics can support this kind of sinister, heinous crime.
But Kerala Chief Minister has already called it an RSS-driven propaganda, RSS BJP-driven propaganda. What would you like to tell Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, who, if my memory serves me right, actually backed V.S. Achuthanandan's claims back in 2010, 2012, when he said that there are entities who are, and you know what V.S. Achuthanandan had
said? Straight away said that Kerala, they're spending money for conversion, getting married to a religion, other religion, and Kerala will be turned into a Muslim state in 20 years.
In 20 years. That's what Mr. V.S. Achuthanandan had said, and Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan at that time had backed him. Today he's saying it's an RSS BJP-driven propaganda, which is deliberately being made to try and create social disharmony in Kerala, because the BJP and RSS want to make inroads into Kerala. That's what the position is. How would you want to react? What would you like to tell?
I wish we were that powerful to really create so much of an impact that BJP or RSS can enter into Kerala just because of our work. Look, he's a very senior leader, and it's not appropriate for us to really respond to his comments. He has his political affiliations, he has his political ideology, and and he's talking from that ideology. Where we come from is that this is a story of 3 girls whose lives were destroyed, and there are many more whose lives have been destroyed or would be destroyed. So we want to bring it to his attention. We want to request him to, look at the film from a point of view that we are against the terrorists who are doing this to these girls. So will he support us in, exposing this terrorist or no? That's all we can request him.
Didn't somebody ask you, Vipul bhai, क्या बना रहे हो आप? ऐसा पिक्चर बनाओ ना जो 1000 crore बनाए, mindless, brainless picture, entertaining masala film, it will get you lots of money. Why are you getting into these kind of subjects?
See, actually, a lot of people did tell me that why are you doing this, and it's very, you're being too bold and too foolish rather, and stuff like that. But I felt that the whole tragedy is so powerful and so shocking that I would not be able to live happily if I let it go and not make a film on something.
So you didn't know about it till he had come and
we all had heard, but when you hear some small report here, some small news article here, it's different. When you see a research where you see testimonies of hundreds of girls, it shakes you. It completely shakes you as a human being. And I felt that after working for 20 odd years, if there is a subject like this right in front of me, I'm not going to do it, then what am I going to tell myself? How will I deal with myself that you allowed something like this came in front of you and you let it pass and you said, I don't want to do it, it's uncomfortable, it's difficult, it will have lots of consequences, so let somebody else make it. I thought that would be terrible, and so I decided that come what may, I'm going to make this film. And that's why the day we decided, after that we never looked back.
When did you decide on Ada, and what was her reaction when you approached
her? To be
her?
very honest, one of the challenges were that who will play this part? Which girl is going to risk her career or whatever, And she was very, very brave to accept it, and we are grateful that she accepted this role. But even after, casting her, for other 3 girls and other guys, we were struggling for 6 months to get actors to agree. Actors were scared. They would read the script and run away. And they would say, we can't touch this film, it's a barge pole, sorry. So we were thinking that will there be at least, some people who will be ready to do this film. Finally, we found a very good cast, very, very good actors and very brave actors, I must say. And so after that, it was a...
So they all of the entire cast knows what they were getting into, knew?
We made it clear to them. We were not trying to hide anything from them. We were also anticipating certain things, and we wanted them to know that what they are getting into. And we are glad that everybody is supportive.
When you told people you're going to do this project, didn't they tell you, "Pagal ho gayi hai? What are you doing?"
No,
didn't
the
they say
people
that?
who really matter to me actually didn't. They were very proud of me, and they were really happy I'm doing this. So that's what matters for me, the people who really matter.
So amongst you, within the cast, did you girls ever talk about, are we really doing the right thing? Are we putting too much at stake by doing this movie?
No, that never. We used to always talk about how are we going to make the scene so convincing, and what must they have gone through. There's a scene in the mall where we get molested, and it's a planned molestation by one of our other friends. So that day I remember we all had...
So this molestation was planned?
It's a planned...
That is how...
Yeah, so it's a... Yeah, so, and then... when you watch the film, you'll know it's like a step-by-step process. Yeah, so it's not just like, you just got radicalized, I told you, and you just flipped. It's not that. It's like slowly done. So we did speak about things like that. At stake and all, I don't think. The girls who've actually have actually gone through this, the stuff they've gone through, I mean, what we are doing is just putting it out there, I think.
That is what gone through to all our actors. All our actors were, at a point of time, they become an activist actually. They realized, and the kind of like, we were shooting in minus 12 degree temperature in Afghanistan. Everybody of my team was unwell, but Ada was 100% fit for any time. The most difficult shot, just imagine in the mountain of Hindu Kush, Karakoram zone, it is oxygen density is very, very less.
Yeah.
Where Radha is running in the mountain, you have to see, to believe that the actors from Mumbai industry who do not move without an AC, perhaps the AC car, she is doing like that. It is incredible. And that is why I'm saying, I use the word activist. At a point of time, everything of the pains these girls gone through, all imbibed in them. And that is why this amazing performance come up. And I'm telling you, more than 300 actors acted, crowd and all together. Out of and all 300 actors were so much spirited that we hardly had to think about, to what we are going to do. There are scenes, very difficult scenes of chopping. And
Dada, I have limited time. I've actually run out of time, but quickly I'm going to ask you. When the release happens, 5th of May, are you confident it's going to release? And once the release happens, what are you going to look at? Box office collections or movie recollection among the audience?
I think 5th the film will release, and we have absolute faith in our judiciary. Once the CBFC and Censor Board has cleared the film after great scrutiny, I don't see any reason why the courts will stop the film from releasing. Once the film releases, what we want to see is actually not the numbers, but what we want to see is how is it actually impacting the society. Will the society now start talking about this issue or no? That is the most important thing. Will we do something about this as a country? Is this film going to become that first stepping stone towards a larger cause? And if that is done, and if our film is able to save some lives, I think that's going to be the biggest success for all of us. Money, of course, is important, but if all these boxes are ticked, money will follow.
Money will follow. Oh, very well said. Ada, final word to the audience. What should they expect? Why should they watch the movie? What
you've seen in the trailer and really enjoyed, I think that's 20% of what you're going to see in the final film. And as to whether it releases and all, I'm going to leave it to divine intervention. I think, like Dada said, everything just miraculously came together for this project. If we were able to shoot in -12 without oxygen and still be fine. So I'm just hoping everything...
So you believe that there is an element of the divine that is also making things happen. So you believe...
Absolutely.
I also feel that every parent must make it a point to see this film and show it to their daughter. Because one of the very important points that the film deals with is that these girls were victims, or they were made into such soft targets because they had no clue about our own culture. Today in our modern Hindu culture, if I am praying and my son is sitting, and if he is not joining me in the prayer, I have an attitude, it's okay, if he feels like from his heart he will join.
Right.
And so I don't insist on teaching him anything about my religion. And that is why when somebody attacks my religion, he has no answer. I have not done my job, so my kid will suffer. So I want this message to go out to every family that please wake up, because it can cost you a lot. A lot.
Powerful message that, and on that note, we're going to wind up this conversation. To watch the movie, give your feedback, give him the feedback, because they've put in their heart and soul into it. Wonderful speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chamarajnagar, Kalaburgi, Tumkur. We've started the startup park near Kempegowda Airport. Today, Karnataka, almost 40 unicorns come from Karnataka. 7,500 crore for railways. You gave 4,000 crores in the last 5 years. We gave 7,500 crores. 15,000 crores for the suburban rail project. 12 minor ports. Apart from that, we gave 7 model universities, IIT at Raichur and at Dharwad. 1.5 lakh tablets. 8,000. These are tablets for students. 8,700 crores for scholarships. Sugarcane FRP was increased from 22,000 to 23,000. Just one last point. one last
one
point.
second.
One last
I'm
point.
sorry.
Zaka,
I'm
please.
sorry. I'm sorry. I don't interrupt. But you know, this is not a campaign speech. You're rattling off stuff.
No, people should
no,
know.
No, but no. Of course, people should know. You can.
criticize
No, you
us
can.
that we're not talking about issues.
No. But
Just give me one
spokesperson
line.
after spokesperson is going on TV, and none of them are talking about what you're talking about.
Zaka,
They're all
IMD
talking about Nalayak Beta and
Zaka,
Zahrila Sam.
Zaka,
Why is that?
Zaka, I am the national spokesperson of the
Yes.
Bharatiya
Maybe
Janata
you
Party,
should
and
be
in
the
that
CM
capacity,
candidate, so
may
that
I
at least
speak,
you will
Zaka?
not-
One second, Aishwarya. One second.
Zaka, I am the national spokesperson, and I believe that the people of Karnataka need to know that the unemployment rate in Karnataka is 2.1%. In Rajasthan, it is 20% plus. The sugarcane FRP was increased by 10,000 rupees per ton by us. MSP of tur dal was increased by 50%, ragi by 138%. I want to ask Aishwarya Mahadev, during her period, today we are giving 10,000 rupees to farmers, to 54 lakh farmers. How much did she give? And the reason why we are bringing that Nalayak Beta up is because their leaders, because they have nothing to show about what they've done in Karnataka or in any other government, they abuse
Okay.
us, and we call that out. But Zaka,
One second. I need to go. I need to go to two others. There are two other guests. Let me go to Prakash Belwadi first. Prakash, it comes back to a very simple, fundamental question, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, any voter anywhere in Karnataka or any state, anywhere in the country should be asking himself or herself a very simple question. Has my life changed for the better in the last 5 years? If it has, there is a case to vote back the incumbent government. If it hasn't, then there is no case to vote back the incumbent government. Other than this, everything else is just surround sound, whether it is freebies, whether it is communal attacks, whether it is personal attacks. Is that how a majority of the people in Karnataka are seeing this? That all of this is just surround sound between the politicians? Ultimately, has the lot of the people improved?
You know, Zaka, you've been in Bangalore before, and you know that, Bangalore is miles ahead in terms of development compared to the rest of Karnataka. Everybody aspires to be in Bangalore. All the most important revenue generating economic power of Karnataka is Bangalore. It's really sad. There's not another city with a population in excess of 1 million in Karnataka. And that there is a real problem there. And I think when you say how will people of Karnataka react, it is very different in how people will react in Bangalore and how in the rest of Karnataka they will react.
Shehzad, so in the last week or so, it's more personal attacks, it is attacks against the Prime Minister, etc., which seems to be taking center stage, not so much issues or livelihood issues which matter to the people of Karnataka. Is the BJP making this into a highly vocal, personalized campaign so that you can sort of negate the negative effects of this 40% Commission Sarkara, which is the Congress's main plank against your government?
Zaka, from the beginning of this campaign, you can see that the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister and the government of Karnataka, the BJP, is going with a list of achievements. There were just 2 airports in 2014. Today there are 7. There was just 7 kilometers of metro rail line. Today there's 56 kilometers. It's whether it's the STRR, whether it's the Kempegowda Terminal 2 airport, whether it's the Bengaluru-Mysuru Expressway, whether it's development funds.
7.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to yet another engaging conversation with someone who has always been candid, matter of fact, and no holds barred. Ladies and gentlemen, this book that I hold in my hand is an eye-opener. And I'll be honest that when I saw the title, it said Girl from Kathua, and it said A Sacrificial Victim of Ghazwa-e-Hind. See, that's a bold title. But then what else to expect from the author, Madhu Purnima Kishwarji? Namaste, ma'am. Thank you very, very much. Frankly,
Thank you, Anand.
I had to think, I saw the nice note where you said, I hope you will find this book worth the effort that went into it. Now, as I'm reading through it, I'll be honest, I have not completed the book. As I'm reading through it, there is a lot of effort which is visible. But let me first ask you, why this case? Why did you want to get into this particular case?
Firstly, this is not the only time I've taken on fake narratives by a certain global network mafia, which is out to break up India through means fair or foul. And there have been many such instances, including my book on Gujarat riots, including my expose of the fake case against Maya Kodnani, Colonel Purohit. I can give you a whole list. My whole life has been about challenging the fake narratives that the leftist cabal, that's a respectable word, I feel like calling them mafia, have been practicing on us, you know, and at great cost to this country. And this, to my mind, I mean, honestly, ever since I got to see the facts, I've not had one peaceful night's sleep because we've taken too much, we've tolerated too much, and I think it's time to say no, enough is enough. And that's what this book's message is.
This picture I remember of the victim, because all media channels, and you've gone hammer and tongs at the media fraternity also for disregarding the rules of how to portray, whether or not to name a victim who's a minor, all of those which you say were actually caution was thrown to the wind and all protocols were not followed only in this case.
No, it's not caution thrown to the winds. It's a very deliberate and very well orchestrated move globally and internationally. See, the law in India states very clearly that even after death, you cannot name a rape victim. Even after death. And then, of course, in this case, it's a little girl. The law in England, law in America, law in all these countries has similar provisions about not naming. Now, when we see celebrity journalists, including BBC, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, they all go out of their way to not just name the girl, but also project a photograph, that iconic innocent face and those haunting eyes, then obviously there is a game behind it, and a very sinister one. Because, for example, just to give you an example, on April 23rd, just recently, I Google searched with her name and Kathua. You won't believe it. With one search queue, I got 4.5 crore posts with a face and name. Starting, of course, with the mastermind, namely Mehbooba Mufti. As Chief Minister, she named her. As Chief Minister, she projected a photograph, and then the echo chamber started doing it very dutifully. Don't they know that this is the law of the land? Of course they know it, because in no other case have they done it. Till date, nobody knows the face and name of Nirbhaya. It was no less shocking for the nation, and yet nobody has dared name her. How is it that they go out of their way to do it, defy the law of the land?
The entire story around Ghazwa-e-Hind is it's a Islamist agenda against Hind. So, but why have you called her sacrificial victim of Ghazwa-e-Hind, so Ghazwa victim?
Because my book proves with abundant evidence that this girl was not murdered by any Hindu. None of the 8 Hindus that have been incarcerated on charges of gang rape and murder had even the remotest connection with her. They didn't even know she existed. But I say it loud and clear that if you want to find out who the real killers are, start investigating Mehbooba Mufti, start investigating Talib Hussain, her right-hand man. He's an important office bearer in a party, and her own family. And I say it with confidence that if an honest probe is carried out, which is what was denied, Jammu people cried and loudly, including the Bar Association, went on strike. There was a Jammu Bandh, demanding only one thing, CBI probe, because they could see that the charge sheet was outrageous in the kind of web of deceit and lies it wove. Now, if it is held even now, starting with Mehbooba Mufti, who masterminded it all, then it will be clear that this girl was killed by her own community members in order to hit out not just at those 8 targeted Hindus who are in jail or serving life term, etc., on fabricated charges, but at Hindus of Kathua district in general, and BJP and Modi ji in particular also, they were targeted. But Hindus of Kathua district, because this is a district neighboring Pakistan, very crucial for cross-border terrorists. And from Kathua, they can go straight up to Jammu through this forest that surrounds Rasana village, which was the prime target. They wanted to get it vacated of Hindus.
So
and just as religious demography has been changed in other provinces of, in other districts of Jammu province, namely Rajouri, Poonch, Doda, Kishtwar, etc., they were all Hindu majority. Today they have become Muslim majority. That was exactly the plan, because this is one of the few remaining Hindu majority districts, and it had to be emptied out. And that's what they targeted. That's why they targeted also the mandir and key people.
So you have proof for all of this, what you're saying, because you're opening up a lot of fronts. You're opening up a front against the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. You're saying that there is this internal security and an external security, national security dimension to it.
Yes.
You're saying that there are errors and there were loopholes within the charge sheet, and this was a fudged up, botched up, investigation altogether. You're opening yourself to a lot of legal scrutiny. So are you legally covered in this? What you have written in this is quite explosive, Madhuji. I've read quite a bit of it. So is that legally covered?
I'm willing to stand any trial on this. Let those I have named also come in the dock and face the investigation. And let me tell you, since you started reading the book, what you would have noticed is that I have not used, for most part, I have not used the defense of the 8 accused at all. I have used only the documents prepared by the government, with Mehbooba as Home Minister, the prosecution, the crime branch. 3 SITs were set up, all highly compromised, the third one outrageously compromised. I've used those documents to prove that this is not only nonsensical, that even somebody with a peanut-sized brain, if they had bothered to read the charge sheet or the post-mortem report, they would know that it's a total fudged up case.
Now,
Good evening, you're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. Sharad Govindrao Pawar, a politician with more than 6 decades of political experience, someone who's respected for his suave political acumen by friends and foes alike. He stepped down from the position of NCP Supremo, a party that he founded 23 years ago. His resignation was followed by drama, speculation, and last-ditch attempt by the well-wishers to make him change his mind. Mr. Pawar clarified that this is not his resignation from active politics or public life. But with this resignation, the future of Mahavikas Aghadi hangs in balance. Rumours have been rife about Ajit Pawar, his nephew, joining hands with the BJP, which Ajit Pawar, you remember, called baseless and unsubstantiated. So is this the final attempt of Sharad Pawar to keep his party together? Mr. Pawar's resignation has left the Congress and the Uddhav faction quite worried. Would this have larger implications for the NCP's role and position in the run-up to 2024? Would the grand plan of the opposition unity suffer with Mr. Pawar's resignation? All these questions are focused on Brass Tacks tonight.
तुमच्या पासून मी बाजूला नाही तुमच्या सगळ्या कामाला कार्यक्रमाला तुमच्या बरोबर आहे
माझा निर्णय आता मी दिलेला आहे परंतु तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या आग्रहाखातर मला विचार करायला 2 ते 3 दिवस लागतील 2 ते 3 दिवस द्या आपण साहेबांना शेवटी दैवत मानतो आपलं दैवतच म्हणतंय की 2-3 दिवस द्या मात्र हे म्हणणे मी विचार केव्हा करीन
मला तसं वाटत नाही राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेसचं निर्विवाद नेतृत्व शरद पवारच करतात किंबहुना जसं शिवसेना हा पक्ष ठाकरे या एका नावावर चाललेला आहे अनेक वर्ष.
पवार जी ने जो आज उनके पद से, उनके अध्यक्ष पद से उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया है, वो किस कारणवश दिया है ये तो बताना मुश्किल है. जो मीडिया में अजीत दादा पवार के बारे में जो आता था, या उनके परिवार में कुछ हो, या उनकी तबीयत के बारे में हो, ये बात अभी बताने का कोई मतलब भी नहीं है.
व्यक्तिगत फैसला है और राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस का एक आंतरिक मामला है, और इस समय उसके ऊपर चर्चाएं भी चल रही है, मंथन भी चल रहा है, और पार्टी किस निर्णय तक जा रही है इस बारे में हमें कोई अंदेशा भी नहीं है. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इस पर अभी बात करना ये बहुत प्रीमेच्योर होगा.
Well, there's clearly a twist. And joining us on the broadcast is our first newsmaker, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the senior leader of the Congress party and the former chief minister of the state of Maharashtra. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. It's a crucial day today. A big decision has been taken by Mr. Sharad Pawar. While there's still pressure on him and requests with him to change his mind, your first thoughts on him stepping down? Are you surprised with the decision?
Well, I'm surprised by this timing of the announcement. Well, there have been serious differences at the highest level in NCP, particularly between Mr. Ajit Pawar and rest of the leadership. And I think Mr. Pawar has ostensibly announced his decision to give up the national role. He is not withdrawing from active politics. He is not resigning from Rajya Sabha membership. He still has got 3 years to go, and his counsel guidance will always be available to the entire opposition unity and to Mahavikas Aghadi. Now, this will have no effect on the Mahavikas Aghadi, because till somebody officially withdraws from Mahavikas Aghadi, the three-party alliance in Maharashtra continues.
Right.
So I think it's an internal issue of the NCP. There is some kind of a leadership tussle. The younger generation wants to take over. Well, that's their internal problem. Whether Mr. Pawar's decision is final or not, there are some issues about that, because almost entire rank and file of the second level leadership has requested Mr. Pawar not to give up his national role.
Yeah.
While Mr. Ajit Pawar has a different view on it. So we'll have to await maybe developments later in the evening, whether Mr. Pawar continues to adhere to his stand, or he is willing to withdraw from the decision.
Well, I agree with you there that yes, internal infighting is a huge factor. There is no denying that there has been internal fighting within the NCP. There were strong rumors, you remember, that Mr. Ajit Pawar could break the ranks, he could join hands with the BJP. Do you believe it is solely because of the internal infighting, or perhaps there is something more that you read into it?
Well, we can only surmise. We can only, there's no hard and fast data with me, at least.
Sure.
I can only go by what newspapers are reporting, media is reporting. There have been reported meetings between the younger leadership of the NCP and Mr. Amit Shah that nobody has denied, nor anybody has confirmed it. So, Mr. Pawar, Ajit Pawar has publicly stated that he would like to become the chief minister of the state. There's nothing wrong in that. But whether he is going to go all the way and even break the NCP, I don't believe that.
Okay.
So I don't believe. I think this is the internal power struggle in the NCP. We'll have to await whether rank and file remains with Mr. Senior Pawar or goes with Ajit or second level leadership. I don't know who is leading this rebellion within the party. If at all, I wouldn't like to call it rebellion, but there are certain differences, obviously. So whether the differences are serious and whether Mr. Pawar is fed up of these announcements and leaks and newspaper reports, or he's serious about it. He has been in active politics for 64 years. It's not a short while.
It is indeed not a short time. But with this resignation, the foundation of Mahavikas Aghadi has been shaken in many ways. Would you agree? And would you, as the member of this alliance, have the same level of trust on the younger leadership, which it looks inevitable will take over the NCP in the times to come?
No, let us not speculate on what might happen.
Yeah.
Let us await what NCP wants to do. Whether I can't believe personally that NCP, senior leadership of NCP would align themselves with BJP. Mr. Pawar, personally, from his childhood, from the way his parents have taken part in politics, have been always opposed to the communal forces. Now, at this stage of his life, I don't think he will join hands personally with the communal forces. If the younger leadership doesn't listen to him, that's another matter. We'll have to await so-called, I think there is a power struggle going on. We'll have to await what happens finally. But this, we cannot surmise that there is a danger to the MVA.
All right. Sir, the veteran leader, Mr. Sharad Pawar, is a huge factor to bring the opposition parties also together in many ways. He's been very crucial and critical in stitching together the opposition unity in whatever form it has existed. And it has been anticipated that he has a huge role to play in the run-up to 2024. Will this stepping down send a message that he's on a shaky ground within his own party?
This will be only a speculation on our part. Point is, the NCP is part of a 20-party alliance that has been forged in Delhi. NCP is part of a 3-party alliance in Maharashtra. Unless they take a clear-cut decision to part company with the anti-Modi, anti-BJP forces and join hands with Mr. Modi either in Delhi or in the state level, why should we speculate that MVA will be under threat or opposition unity will be difficult? His counsel, his guidance will always be available to forge together the opposition unity. He is a senior-most leader today with 64 years in politics. His word is listened to by everybody, including perhaps even Mr. Modi.
Yeah.
So I think as long as he continues his commitment to fighting the communal forces, I don't think there is any danger to the opposition unity or in Maharashtra.
Well, sir, all eyes on the development ahead. And indeed, as you rightly said, this has implications far beyond the state and national politics as well. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for your time. Well, let's take this conversation forward. And we also have the other newsmakers joining us on the broadcast. Joining us on the broadcast right now is Deepak Vasant Kesarkar from the Shiv Sena, the Eknath Shinde faction, also a Minister of Education in the government of Maharashtra. So